I can't tell you what it's been like for the past 10 minutes getting ready for the Friday Rumble. Now, Marion Mead-Ward is away, probably getting therapy after having to tolerate David Menzies for so long. David Menzies is here, host of Men's-Led Mornings, columnist, radio personality, husband, father.
She's dedicating a pier or something in Burlington.
Is she?
Or she is
dedicating a pier in Burlington.
She's doing nothing of the sort. She's hugging Hazel McCallion, who was exonerated of high crimes
this
and
morning,
misdemeanors today.
But Marion has worked very hard in her political career to get to the point where she would dedicate a pier in Burlington. That's not knock it. Yeah. And Ray Hurd, who was the man who actually he said the words "charge" to the Duke of Wellington at the Battle of Waterloo in 1850.
And I'm saying that now to Mulcair.
Okay,
charge them.
Let's begin with Syria first of all, because Bill Clinton put down an intern for a while to say to President Barack Obama, "You're a wuss if you don't arm the Syrian rebels." Well, Clinton should mind his own business.
Well,
he's not the president.
Can I tell you why he did that?
Yeah.
He's setting Obama up for his wife Hillary to succeed Obama. He's taken a rather difficult position. It puts Obama on the line because Obama's decision is indecision. Everything he does is indecisive.
But I understand that when it comes to Syria. I wouldn't know what to do. Do you back Assad, Hezbollah, Alawite militia against Islamic fundamentalist Muslim Brotherhood rebels? Or do you...
But
no,
those aren't the...
Stay in the middle.
There's some good guys, some good young people who want what the people of Turkey want, which is that crazy thing called freedom from oppression.
In Syria?
And they could have gotten it if the West had intervened earlier, as they did in Libya.
David, you have more freedom under a brute like Assad. He may be a brute, but he's a secular one, than you would under the Muslim Brotherhood.
I agree. I think in this case, Michael, as much as there have been massacres of tens of thousands of people...
Well, 92,000.
Well, yeah, it's getting to the six figures. But
in this conflict...
It's 92 according to the government of the United States.
That is both sides, and to say that it is Assad only is a misreading of both sides of acting in the most barbaric manner.
But guys...
But the point is, I think, Michael, if we look in the last several decades of what's happened in the Arab world and Iran, is it better that we've had that regime change? You know, it's almost like better the devil you know. I mean, I look at Iraq today, look at Iran, look at Egypt, right? Remember that was all about the Arab Spring. Well, it was more like a nuclear winter, wasn't it? What I'm saying is that as bad as Assad is, we don't know. Actually, we have a pretty good idea. The alternative is probably going to be that much worse. It's going to be
I don't think
Islamic extremism. No. Well, that's the pattern right now.
In Turkey, they'll prevail.
How can you say that?
In Libya, it's somewhat better than it was under the butcher.
Libya is largely irrelevant.
And Canada's Air Force guy was in command of that great expedition.
But Ray, you say that the young people in Turkey, well, we may have illusions about Turkey. I don't know if you know the term white Turk and black Turk, but it's not about race. It's about where do they lean politically. The so-called black Turks who listen to Arab music, the more Islamic, they are in the majority. Because people in Istanbul and other cities may be rioting, there are many people who support the Prime Minister in Turkey, his economic progress.
You are a student of history like me, and you should know that revolutions occur from the lower middle classes, never from the mob.
But
the French and American.
In Turkey, in the case of Turkey, if we're talking history, Ray, 1960, 1971, 1980, military coups in that country.
Sure,
and it was a good thing to keep radical Islam in check, to keep it as secular as possible. And that is the hope for Turkey right now.
That can't happen again. The armies...
These kids want to support that.
Well, the generals, they're all in prison. The senior commander has been emasculated or Islamicized. There is no way the Turkish army is going to intervene on the side of the rebels. That one is longer.
But can I raise a bigger point?
Well, you can.
Please, listen, I'm a historian.
You are, an historian, yes.
And a historian is quite acceptable at Oxford now, but let's continue.
Not when I was
basically what we're seeing every day in all these weird countries is a war between two branches of the Muslims, the Shia and the Sunnis, are killing each other. No, it is embraced by ideology. Most of these countries are riven by disputes, as Iraq was, created by the Brits, between Muslims
so you're making
who
my
are
point.
Sunnis.
Okay, but hold on. Listen, don't you know who I am? Which is a segue into Tom Mulcair, Angry Tom, who is a socialist, believes in equality. Now, he goes through a stop sign, we think more than one stop sign in Ottawa. He's chased by the Mounties. He can see them in the mirror. He must be able to. Eventually, when they do stop him, he says, don't you know
No, he parks. He didn't stop. He parked in his parking lot.
So he was so it didn't bother. Now, could it be that he wasn't aware of this? Could it be that what he really said was, oh, guys, you know who I am?
Well, you know, maybe being a citizen of France, the traffic laws are a little different there, and you can blow by the stop signs. But I think the bigger question here, Michael, and the more profound point, is that what this says to society at large, you know, the guy or the gal, you know, rushing to get to work, take their kid to soccer practice, you make a minor traffic violation, you get pulled over, you get the full brunt of the law, and this guy, we've even got him on camera doing this, and no charges. How can you possibly justify no charges? Because he said he's sorry?
I feel like Peter Finch right now. I'm so mad.
And I'm not going to take it anymore.
I would ask the Mounties the serious question. Why have you not charged Thomas Mulcair with a serious offence? And let me tell you what the offence is. One of the busiest pedestrian areas in Canada is Parliament Hill. There are pedestrians and tourists there. And when you go through 3 stop signs with pedestrians around and a police car chases you and tells you to stop, you are committing a serious criminal offence. Charge him now.
It couldn't have been very fast, obviously, but
relatively fast.
But it would have meant that he could see the car behind him. Now, if you see a police vehicle behind you, you stop. Mulcair is a man of colossal arrogance.
Yes.
He's no fool, but he's a very arrogant, very angry, very ambitious man. And look, if this would have been a Conservative leader, it would have been a big story.
Michael,
it was
last week.
Wasn't it in the Globe?
It wasn't in the Globe and Mail print edition. And I spoke to someone at the Globe. I said, it's not a story that this socialist leader, and if you look at my Twitter account, you'll see I'm fighting with the socialists who say he did nothing wrong. And guess what my answer to them is? Then why did he issue an apology if he did
Last word to you,
wrong?
David.
Michael, to prove your point of what you said, if it was a Conservative, last week, Matt Galloway of CBC Radio issued a tweet, and it was a photograph of Mayor Ford's Cadillac Escalade. The rear wheel was 3 centimeters into the line dividing the road on Beverly Street to the bike lane. And he tweeted, close call for my bicycle and me, thanks to Mayor Rob Ford. This is insanity. I mean, this is just, this isn't even a violation.
Matt Galloway, but if you're being paid, what, $300,000 a year, whatever he gets, could he not afford a car?
Well, there's another thing here. Isn't it against the law to have a handheld device while you're operating a vehicle?
And by the way...
but if you're a CBC employee, you're above the law,
if Matt isn't getting paid that amount... can I have the camera a moment, please? Camera? If you're not getting paid that, just clarify what you are being paid, because you see, we've tried to find out, but your friends in Ottawa at the House of Commons say we shouldn't be allowed that information. So, Matt Galloway, just want to know what you're paid, because you are a public servant.
And, of course, I don't even know who Matt Galloway is.
I don't either. Back in a few moments.
I never heard
Don't go away.
I never heard of him.
Just got a phone call. Deeply, deeply handicapped people want me to go and speak to raise money. I will do it, but I want $15,000 minimum. I learned from Justin Trudeau. Now, Justin, no one pays me that much money. Handicapped people or able-bodied, by the way. Now, Justin Trudeau, if you don't have a job, if you do speaking engagements for a living, if you can get $20,000 for a speech, okay, they want to pay you that. But if you're already an MP earning good money, if you come from a very wealthy family, then it's a little bit different. We're going to show you a clip now, and we're going to talk about it afterwards. It's now been exposed that Justin Trudeau, we knew he was taking huge amounts of money in speaking fees from teachers and so on, and public bodies where you're actually paying him. But this is far more serious. Let's have a look at what happened in the House of Commons.
We certainly hope, however, that the leader of the Liberal Party will cooperate with the Grace Foundation, from whom he took $20,000. Now, let's be clear. He was getting paid $160,000 as an MP, but he went and took a $20,000 check from a group of seniors trying to do a fundraiser to buy furniture. Now, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to know how many members here go to charity events where they give money. Where they give money. Put up your hands. All right. Well, Mr. Speaker, that's what most Canadians do. Middle-class Canadians give money to charities. They don't take $20,000 checks.
Ray Hurd.
I am something of an expert on this. On Twitter, I've been on for months about it. And you were wrong. He takes from a lot of other charities. This is not the first one.
I know.
He took from a mental health association.
Well, the Liberal Party.
Yes. No. And do you know what? Yes. No, that is an insult to people with special needs, what you just said. But hold on, guys. Listen to me, Justin. You cannot get away with this. You're a millionaire.
He will.
And you cannot
He will.
You cannot charge charities. I think that line, I give to charity, Justin takes, he's a reverse a reverse Robin Hood.
But he will get away with it. He will get away with it.
I don't think he will.
He's Justin Trudeau.
He will have to return all the money he fleeced from charities.
Well, he may do that, but he will still get away with it. The money's not the issue.
Well, not while I'm on his track,
It's not the money, it's his reputation.
Michael, I'm trying to be, no pun intended, as charitable as possible with Justin Trudeau, and it's this. In the school of you've got to spend money to make money, if the Grace Foundation can say, yes, we gave him a $20,000 check, but you know what? Because of his presence, we earned $45,000, 50 or 60. If they can make that business case, that's money well spent for charity. But if they can't, then the Grace Foundation has disgraced itself.
David, if I may, now this is not to say look at me, because I mean I'm hardly anyone to look up to, but I spoke not very long ago at a Catholic event, and an amount of money had been given to a woman before this. I don't want to go into any details, but she had charged an amount of money, and I said to them on the phone, "You're not going to pay me that much. That what she charged you was immoral.
Yeah.
You're a Catholic group. No, this amount you're paying me is more than fair. I wouldn't take that amount." It's just if he would have said, "Look, my flight you're going to have to cover. Pay me $1,000 for expenses and the hotel. That'll be fine." You say, what's he going to do with that money? He's already independently wealthy.
Michael, this is because we have a little rich kid who feels entitled to his entitlements. And I'll tell you what's even worse than this, because at least maybe there was a business case to be made, and it looks like it hasn't been made. But when he's gone to public sector schools, right? So public schools, and charge $15,000. And I know, listen, my kids are out there selling magazines, chocolate bars, because you're trying to raise money for like a scoreboard clock, and they've got 15 grand to pay to this vacuous and vapid.
Well, a third of it goes to a speaking agent.
Hold on, it's much more serious. I've looked at the list of all the speeches he's made and how much he's charged. And it's worse. He talks to chartered accountants. Now, chartered accountants, hold on, chartered accountants, seriously, have issues before the government of Canada on taxes. How can a member of Parliament who votes on issues speak to organizations who have a vested interest in those issues? That is corruption of power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely here when a member of Parliament speaks about an issue he's going to vote on.
And Michael, if I may say this, what are you paying for? What kind of pithy prose do you get? When he was elected leader of the Liberal Party, the Monday following the leadership convention, he had an opinion piece in the Globe and Mail, now that I'm Liberal leader. I did a word count. I think it was 987 words.
Personal pronoun.
Well, not only that, Ray, there was absolutely nothing tangible. No. It was all a bunch of garbage strung together, like hope and forward and all this.
And you see him questioned on television. Quite clearly, he has no idea what the question means, let alone how to answer it. But he can fill a room. If you're trying to sell...
But he didn't in this case.
Exactly. But if you're trying to sell, I don't know, 500 plates at $50 or $100 a plate, he will do it, and someone who's quite brilliant may not do it. So there is a valid point to be made here, but it's not.
No, it's not a valid point.
But there's also there's payback.
But he gives it free.
If you spend time with people, if you spend time with people, and they pay you money, there's a certain expectation, and once you're in power, they can come and ask you for things. Now, also remember, there are speaking agents. Speaking agents do very, very little for a lot of money, and they're very safe. I mean, they have their people. We'll give you 5 people. You'll give me 100 grand. I'll give you 5 people. It doesn't matter what they say. They'll just... Now, all this money from charities is going to speaking agents. He doesn't seem to mind giving a third to them. He takes the rest for himself. There are so many layers here of questions that have to be asked from a man who claims to be egalitarian.
But for charity, he should give to the charity with the money he would charge. Instead of charging it, and then they raise more for crippled people, for mentally disabled. I mean, this is outrageous.
I love your anachronistic terms.
Not just
for the cripples.
Not just charity, but schools, which, you know...
Yes, and colleges. Queen's University.
I mean, you know, last month we had Indigo. They gave their Love of Reading Foundation grant to Parkdale School in Toronto. So now that instead of the children having 1 new book per child, they now have 8 new books thanks to the Indigo grant.
Yes.
How dare somebody like this guy, this millionaire, champagne-swilling socialist, waltzes into a school with those kind of... oh, come on.
He's a crypto.
He's not even that interesting.
He's a crypto.
He's a fluffy, pragmatic Trudeau leader.
And you know, and it speaks very poorly of people that will flock to this vacuous vessel, Michael, to see him speak. I embrace the Star-Kiss motto from the 70s, remember? Sorry, Charlie. Star-Kiss doesn't want tunas with good taste. Star-Kiss wants tunas that taste good.
Well...
Yeah, I was in England at that time. Right? We had opal fruit.
Oh, you were still on rations or something?
Yes.
Hello, lovey, wobbly, jobbly. Do you have any more oatmeal?
I have to add,
we call it
seriously, I have to add, congratulations. I'm a Liberal. Jason Kenney, congratulations for that question, because you've got him running now.
That was very good.
Unethical and amoral for a member of Parliament to accept money for any speech, especially to a charity. And how many other MPs do you think have done this? 2.
Who?
Mark Garneau made a commitment to speak, and then he was elected MP, and he kept that. And the other one is a doctor whose name escapes me, which means she's not very important.
Liberal?
I know
Carolyn
everyone.
Bennett?
And that, no, not Carolyn. That doctor spoke to a professional organisation, and that might be okay. So why don't the Ottawa journalists get off their asses and do more investigation of Justin's double standard?
Hold on, we've got to go.
Carolyn Bennett was the one that voted against compensation.
Ray, don't use that word again on TV.
Carolyn Bennett?
No, Ottawa journalists. Thank you very much indeed.